Hi, my name is Quezada Magdaleno, and today we'll be talking about today in this module, we'll be talking about getting and staying on their radars. By the end of the module, we should understand three, we should understand three main things. First, we will understand getting and meeting or interviewing usually takes multiple attempts. Second, we need to know how to research prospects or employers before reaching out to them. Third would be we need to learn how to create messaging and get attention and keep on someone's radar screen. The overall idea is that success doesn't usually come from one email or from one phone call, but it is from a process. Many people getting on the radar. People are busy and receive hundreds of messages each day. Multiple stay in touch. Multiple touches help because messages get overlooked, decisions take time, trust must be built, timing may not be right, and repetition increases the awareness. One of the biggest lessons from this module is that overreach is a process, not a one-time event. There are two reasons to engage. There are two types of reasons, state reasons, stated reasons. Job posting, interviewing opportunities, new project announcements, RFP release. Unstated reasons. Companies isn't hiring yet, prospects haven't shown interest, or general sales prospecting. The first reason, in the first reason is stated, you could be at a job posting, a internship opening, or a new project announcement. In these situations, the person already knows why someone might be contacting them. The second is unstated reasons. This happens when there isn't a obvious reason for it to reach out. In both cases, understanding your reason for contacting somebody helps create a stronger message to them. The next thing we want to talk about is research and buyer's journey. Research is one of the most important parts of the process. The goal is to understand what problems and challenges the other person might experience. The module uses something called the buyer's journey to help with this. The first stage of the buyer's journey is awareness, when someone realizes they have a problem. The second stage is consideration, where they research possible solutions. The third stage would be the decision, where they compare options and choose the best one. If we understand what questions people are asking during these stages, we can create messages that are more relevant and helpful to their decision. One of the most useful tools introduced in the module is the PQV metrics. PQ, PQ, PQV stands for problem, question, value. PQV helps create messaging that reasonable. As we can see, the first column is identify the problem the prospect might be experiencing. The second column contains questions we can ask and that relates to their problem. The third column explains the values we can provide to the solution to solve them. For example, if someone is struggling with social media marketing, we could ask them if they're concerned about poor results and then explain how our skills and experiences could help them improve these results. The purpose of the PQB metrics is to create messaging that focus on prospects' need instead of just talking about ourselves. Next, we want to talk about running a cadence. After creating our message, we need a plan on delivering them. The plan is called a cadence. A cadence is simply a series of outreach activities spread over time. For example, you might send an email, then a LinkedIn message, and then the next week after that, you might want to follow up with a phone call, a follow-up email, and the week after that, a voicemail. The idea is to stay visible without overwhelming the other person. In the module also points out that there isn't one perfect cadence. You have to test different approaches and learn what works best for you or for the person you're trying to reach out to. Staying on the radar. The second half of the module, it focuses on what happens after you already had a meeting or an interview. At this point, your goal changes. Instead of trying to get attention, you're trying to stay relevant to them. People have meetings and immediately move on to other priorities, so it's important to follow up and remind them of the values you can provide to them. Good follow-up messages reinforce the conversation and keep you fresh on their mind. Just remember, people are always busy and follow-up is crucial. In the next one, we'll be talking about the MDF metrics. To help you with the follow-up, the module introduces this metrics, which stands for Median Detailing Follow-up Metrics. This tool helps organize information from a meeting. For example, it can track concerns, problems, goals, and specific messages. Um, um, it can track concerns, problems, goals, and specific needs that were discussed. Then you can use the information to create personalized follow-up messages. If somebody is worried about cost, you can provide information about savings. If someone needs a simple solution, you can explain how your product or service makes things easier. This makes follow-ups much more effective because it's based on what you actually discussed during that first meeting or interview. And finally, we can talk about key takeaways. To summarize this module, what this module this the module teaches us that successful outreach takes planning and persistence. We learned why multiple touches are important, how to research prospects and employers, how to use the buyer's journey, and how to create messages using the PQV metrics. We also learned how to follow up effectively using the MDF metrics. The biggest lesson is getting attention and staying relevant doesn't happen by accident. It requires preparation, good messaging, and consistent follow-ups. And that'll be it. Thank you.